Okay guys, welcome to today's tutorial. Really quick, I just want to give you a tutorial on liners. We're going to go ahead and line out this painting. This is a COPIC nylon brush tip. This is a medium tip. And I just want to show you how you can line your painting and add interest to it. I've already started here in the corner, but I thought it was worth sharing with you guys so that you can really see how you can add interest to your lines based on your line weight. So let's start here with these leaves. Now, you just want to just barely touch the tip of your liner and then press down to get your thicker line, and then really gently drag it on the opposite edge. And you can vary that line. You can go light and then heavy, and that's going to add a more whimsical look to your painting. Sometimes I even like to lift off a little bit, and that kind of gives it a sketched look. And this makes a really big difference when you're working on like these petals from the flowers. So for instance, you're going to go a little bit heavier on the outside line, and then when you go inside, you're going to go light. And that's just going to show you that this is a petal. This is where the petal folds over, and you want this outside shape to be more dominant, and then a soft inside shape for that delicate curve of the petal. Now, since this one's inside, I'm going a little bit lighter, and then on the outside, I'm just going to give a little bit more of that brush, a little bit thicker line, and then these edges here, I'm going to go really light. Just like that. Soft and delicate and not a hard and heavy line. That way you have definition in your petals, but it's still nice and soft and flowy and not a hard line. Same thing here. I'm going to actually vary it, so I'm going to go a little bit harder and then a little bit lighter. Skip around a little bit. I don't want it to have true hard black lines around the entire thing, then it kind of looks like a coloring book. And that's not really my goal. So these inside detail parts, I'm going to go nice and light, and then go a little bit heavier when I come down here. This petal kind of falls to the back, so I'm going to keep it kind of light. And then again, a little bit heavier with this one here, and then light again on the edge. Keep that little fold delicate. Just kind of mix it up. You can decide what you want to be heavy and what you want to be light. Now where I have two things overlapping, the one in front should be dominant. So make sure you carry that line over where they overlap. And because these little stems are really light, thin painted lines, I'm just going to go right to the side of them really gently. I don't want those to be a standout feature, but they need to have a stem just so you can tell that where it connects into the rest of the flowers. So just make it nice and gradual. Now if you're having trouble getting steady lines, especially when you're using just the tip, the very edge of this liner brush, that's tiny little details, When you have a long line to use your elbow and your shoulder to pull through and kind of lock your wrist in. When you have the shorter details, just try to take one line, one swoop, one motion. If you need to ghost your line to get a practice and a feel, especially if it's one that overlaps. Let me find an overlapping one so I can show you. So this leaf here, since it overlaps and I have to break my line, that can be hard to connect back up. So one of the things you can do is kind of draw it like this, ghosting. You're not actually putting the pen down yet. And then once you've done that a couple times and you got a feel for it, then you can come in with your line and you lift up and there you go. Draw that line in. And I typically suggest pulling towards yourself. That's more natural and easier to keep a straight line rather than going like up and around. You'll start to notice you're going to shake a little bit if you haven't practiced that way. So just try to pull down and towards you. That will feel more natural. Those are the muscles that you've probably worked in a little bit better. And like I said, just keep varying your line weight and it'll add whimsy to your piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and finish it.